There's a fire right now at Magnolia and Harrison. We told you about it first on WOKI just about 10 to 12 minutes ago. Firefighters got there. There were flames in at least one apartment, and 2 people have been taken to the hospital. They were rescued out of the building. The firefighters, again, report the fire's been knocked down, but they still have a lot of work to do there at Magnolia and Harrison. You could even have the street blocked there, even though Magnolia's pretty wide there. They could have hose lines across the road. Again, 2 people reported rescued from that fire. News Talk 98.7 WOKI. Good afternoon. I'm Dave Folk. Sunny today, maybe some rain coming in on Wednesday. It's called Black Friday, a day when a lot of retailers try to make about 40% of their profit. This man was at Bass Pro Shop in Sevier County this morning.
And there are tons of people out here. So I don't want to hear nobody say nothing about how bad the economy is. There's people out here spending these dollars.
Knoxville Police Chief David Rouse says there are also unscrupulous types watching for expensive items left in cars or purses that they can snatch. Chief Rouse says wearing your purse strap across your body can be a pretty good strategy.
Typically, it's where they grab it and you've got it in your hand and you don't let go. That's usually where the injuries happen. And I understand. I'm not going to tell somebody not to fight for their property. I think you got to make that decision yourself. Is what's in that bag worth you getting hurt? I would tell you most stuff is replaceable.
Now, if you do get your purse snatched, Chief Rouse says you ought to try to be a good witness. Pay attention to the clothing, ways to identify them, and yell for others to look too. Watch for a car. This man says traffic was jammed wherever he drove this morning, and he had a question.
Why can't the merchants run these deals like this or run a fair price? What does it tell you? Why can't they do that instead of just doing it on one day in the year?
Well, those big bargains are sometimes called loss leaders. It might be good this time to begin at the end.
Really highlight. Just wonderful.
So, what'd you think of that?
Fantastic.
It's a little bit after 7 o'clock in the morning here at McGee-Tyson Airport. And some of the veterans are streaming in, upright, spry. Others, not so spry. Almost as if on cue, there's thunder in the background here at the Korean Conflict Memorial, where 19 stainless steel soldiers, no emblems at all to tell what outfit they're with. They're 19 coming up the hill here unto the couple of pools of water inscribed on one piece of granite. Freedom is not free. Some of these men are arm in arm with each other, some of them on canes, some in wheelchairs. And all of them share one memory, one common memory that all of these recollections tell me is that there's a price to be paid for freedom, and these guys were willing to do it.
So many of them, we prepared them to bury over there. I was in the medical corps.
And you would, it was part of your job to prepare them for burial.
Yeah, that's part of
it. That had to play in your mind and your heart for a long time, I would imagine.
Well, I came home and stayed about 3 months, and then I went to Detroit. It's a different setting than Nashville, Tennessee. War is a cruel thing.
That they had found Jackie's body, and they brought his body back to Rose Funeral Home in Knoxville, Tennessee. A Marine sergeant was guarding it, and the only one that could see that body was his mother. And after 2.5 years now, she swore that was her son. That body had been frozen up on the mountaintop somewhere.
Oh, those it didn't get back. It's a apropos memorial to all of them. It's real wonderful.
Very impressed.
Yeah, you think they did a good job?
I appreciate it very much.
The sound of the fountains here at the World War II Memorial kind of mute the voices of the people. And to be honest with you, there are not a lot of loud voices here, muted voices as they walk by the stars and mark the fallen, by the inscriptions that mark the battles and the theaters and the states for each column. And, of course, a lot of them are stopping by the column representing Tennessee to have their picture taken and to remember.
North Carolina, USS North Carolina.
Tell me a little bit about that battleship, sir.
It's a great ship. It's a great ship. We had a lot of guns, and we saw a lot of the South Pacific. Yeah, we were over 2 years in the South Pacific.
And there was 6 of them sunk. And if a sail went off, well, like a compartment was loaded with bombs, it all, go off.
Instructed in B-25s and flew the B-24, and then it went into B-29s when they were getting ready to try to close the war down in Japan, I guess.
The men on this Honor Air flight say that when the war was over for them in World War II and Korea, they came home, and that was it. No parades, no big fanfare. They went to work, building a family and building a nation. So now, it's their turn. It's been a long day for the men, especially those who have health problems. But when they hear the crowd, when they hear the band, when they see the balloons, and they see that McGhee-Tyson Airport's concourse is packed with people, the shoulders square a little bit, the heads maybe a little higher. And there's a smile on every face as Honor Air returns to the homecoming that many of them missed. I'm Dave Folk. Good morning. Traffic's okay. Fair skies, 49 degrees, rain on the way. Dave Folk, News Talk 98.7 WOKI. A ceremony today in Baghdad marking the formal end of America's war in Iraq. During the ceremony, the U.S. Forces Iraq flag was lowered, symbolizing the end of the nearly 9-year war. Lieutenant Sean Fox talks about what's left on his bunk inside the compound that used to be Saddam Hussein's palace.
Pretty much just got my A-bag, just a bunch of clothes, and I guess the most important thing is my laptop over here. Something to keep me sane while just waiting around to go home.
People talk of freak accidents, but DJ Corcoran with the Knoxville Fire Department says this one truly qualifies. A tree fell just as a car passed under it on Colonial Drive in South Knoxville near Mayflower, and the driver was instantly killed. Corcoran says a second, either way, would have made a difference.
Or even a fraction of a second, it would have, maybe caught the hood or the trunk. I mean, it just, the timing was unbelievable.
Killed 30-year-old Tiffany Nicole Rayleigh. Investigators did not reveal the cause of her death, but they did confirm that 25-year-old Brittany Sherwood Eldridge was murdered. Knoxville firefighters had their hands full when they answered a call for a man stuck in a wall. Well, actually, between walls. Apparently, a 26-year-old homeless man fell through a hole in a roof and became trapped between two buildings. Knoxville Fire Captain DJ Corcoran says workers of the old-fashioned upholstery shop and Happy Holler were trying to figure out where those cries for help were coming from.
People that worked there came into work and they heard, a voice yelling for help. They, kind of baffled. They went around looking, trying to find out where the voice was coming from, and finally they heard it real clear. He said, "I'm between the buildings."
And the guy told rescuers he'd gone up on the roof of the building on North Central to drink, and that's when he fell 20 to 25 feet. When they got him out about 3:30 yesterday afternoon, he looked to be okay.